I've seen many different reactions to Marjorie Taylor Greene, her apology for the role she's played in divisive politics. And I wanted to get your reaction.
Well, honestly, I didn't see her apology. It was an apology video that she made.
She was talking to Dana Bash, and she was pretty apologetic about,
Right.
she acknowledged that she had played a role. Dana had called her out for
Yeah. I mean,
many of the
that's
things that
always
she.
nice to hear. I mean, she's been so crazy that I just don't know how rehabilitated she could conceivably be. I mean, she was out there with Jewish space lasers and QAnon, and it's hard to exaggerate. It's actually impossible to exaggerate how crazy she's been. So. I mean, she was right in the Candace Owens orbit with just everything's a conspiracy, and there's nothing so bizarre that she didn't have a taste for it, at least. So, yeah, I mean, if she's had a reboot of her brain and is thinking rational thoughts and has now gotten out of politics for the moment because it's become so toxic for her, having gotten out of stride with Trump. I mean, that's kind of interesting, but I have no confidence that people change that fundamentally especially not in a short news cycle. So I think we're going to get some more crazy from her. Just think that'd be very surprising if we don't.
Well, it reminded me when I was watching her, she seemed entirely normal in that clip for 6 minutes. And it reminded me of when I watched Matt Gaetz. I don't know if you remember seeing him on Club Random with Bill Maher.
Hmm.
He seemed entirely normal too. What do you make of this? These people present as crazy, but when they can find moments of sanity. Is it a show? I mean, is it?
Yeah, I think there are people who are. I mean, this is a huge problem. It extends obviously beyond these people. I mean, to many, many people in politics and public life at the moment, where you have very talented performers on some level who, if I had to summarize the character defect, it's that they have no principles, or they have a serious software flaw, which is in many cases just kind of a ravenous appetite for the contrarian take on everything, which is which then summates as just one conspiracy theory after another is entertained and halfway believed or fully embraced, and there's no limit to it. So I mean that's what we're seeing a lot of, but there are a bunch of people out there who I think are probably diagnosable as psychopaths. I mean, I think they just have no real empathy for um, people, and they're manipulators, and they're charismatic, and they're good at what they do, and they're unhindered by any kind of moral compunction while doing it. Right? They don't care. Like they're. I mean, Trump is certainly this type of character. I mean, he cannot be embarrassed by being caught in a lie or being shown to have contradicted himself or um, I mean, all he can do, I mean, I guess he can become enraged by some bad press, but he's I mean, there's no conscience there that ever gets appealed to, right? I mean, none of these people ever apologize. They don't correct errors. They don't acknowledge fault. They don't think better of anything. I mean, there's just not, they just keep pivoting. I mean, even if they change views or change policies or change direction, they pivot, but it's unacknowledged, and they have absolutely no. I mean, take Elon in this case, right? Elon has now sidled up to Trump like a beggar once again, right? He went to the MBS dinner and took whatever crumbs from the table he could be given. I mean, it's just a completely pathetic picture. But why is it so pathetic? Because here's somebody who went to war with Trump, calling him a pedophile, effectively, in so many words, basically saying this man is criminally culpable for his entanglement with Jeffrey Epstein. That's why, um, these files haven't come out, and they're going to come out and destroy him, right? Basically, he took as hard a swing as possible at the character of the president, he's offered absolutely no rational accounting of how his opinion of Trump has changed, and yet now he's back just begging him for attention and favor. Um, Clearly, he doesn't feel he isn't made sick by this process, right? He doesn't even see that it's done anything to his reputation, right? He's just operating. Um, I can't imagine, honestly, I just don't know what you have to have in place or have to be missing, cognitively and emotionally to be able to perform like that. But it's unimaginable to me that, like, if I were going to suddenly change my tune on Trump and not have to acknowledge why, right? Just start praising Trump and wanting to be his friend. And I mean, just imagine that. Imagine that in front of my audience. Just like, okay, like I'm all full MAGA now. Trump is the greatest president we've had, but there's nothing to account for, right? I mean, it's just like, I don't know how these people uh, become these type of people, right? But I mean, just look at the people who have accomplished these kinds of, pivots. I mean, Elon's is the most egregious that of late that I can. I mean, it's impossible to even interpret, because why would he have to do this, right? I mean, he's the richest man on earth. His businesses are going fine, or they're doing whatever they're doing. He doesn't need Trump if he can just keep doing his thing. He could have stayed with Trump as a pedophile, and this bill is an abomination, and go fuck yourself. And he could have had the integrity of that epiphany. But no, he's back, just uh, in sycophant mode. Why, right? And how? I mean, the why is inscrutable. The how is impossible for me to understand.
Well, Elon strikes me as somebody who's probably more or less the same on stage and off stage, whereas Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and even Trump, it feels like the costume comes off, they get off stage, and they're a different person. Like it's a show, and I think there's something different about that
Well, we know
again,
all
I only
these
saw.
people are liars, right? I mean, Elon is a just he seems to be a compulsive liar to me at this point. So he can't be the same on stage and off stage, because he's lying a lot. We know Tucker Carlson has been lying about his views. I mean, that was one product of the Dominion lawsuit, that his private texts were leaked, and we know that he had been, wishing for Trump to disappear for quite some time, and calling him a demonic force, and said he couldn't wait to be rid of him, etc. We know he didn't believe in the 2020 election was stolen, and he'd been pushing all that. So he's a hypocrite and a liar, but he's functioning in a space where none of that matters, right? He's cultivated an audience that is not disposed to keep score in any way. They're just on to the next thing, right? Uh, just the next bright shiny object of conspiracism, or innuendo, or smearing of political opponents, or whatever it is. Um, so, but these people understand their audiences, and they understand how little they need to do to maintain their reputation in front of those audiences.